Hello and welcome to this lecture 5 where we're going to talk about how to achieve company goals across customer base. As you know, I am Arun Singhal, your coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. So what is the purpose of this module? So the purpose of this module is to give you an in-depth understanding of how to achieve your company goals across your customer base, not one customer, two customers, but across your customer base that can help you build excellence in sales. And in this module, we will cover 4 things. One, how can you understand the business unit strategy? How can you understand your roles and responsibility? How can you draft and align your annual goals with your manager? And how can you cascade your annual goals into client-specific strategies? Ready? Okay, so how can you achieve company goals across customers? And this might be a no-brainer, as we have disclosed to you in the last session also. So what you do here is basically it's a 4-step process. What you do is you start with first understanding what is your business unit strategy. If you are part of Johnson & Johnson consumer business, first you will try and understand what is the Johnson & Johnson consumer business strategy, and what that is we will talk about in a couple of slides after this. The second thing you would do is you understand what is your role and responsibility in that business strategy of your business unit. What is your role? What is the piece that you're supposed to play? Third, after understanding your role and responsibility, you will draft and align your annual goals with your manager. You will draft and take it forward to your manager, as we had seen in one of the lectures earlier again. And you will take to your manager, and then finally, having an agreement with your manager, you will cascade these goals into your each client specific strategy. And we will talk about what these client specific strategies are in one of the lectures, but that's where you will take them, because that's where the execution will happen for each of the clients. So let's look at how do we understand business unit strategy. Any thoughts? What do you think is a business unit strategy? What is the business strategy for a unit? What do you think? Do you want to take about 30 seconds? Note down on a piece of paper your understanding. Come back and tally your notes. All right. So the business unit strategy, again, I've borrowed this concept from Michael Porter. He has described this beautifully in his book called The Competitive Strategy, in not even one chapter, but in the introduction. And that's where this is kind of hidden. He says that business unit strategy is defined. He defines the strategy as a wheel with this hub and spoke arrangement, and he says the center of this the hub is what kind of goals do you set. So what's your vision of the future? What are your basic competitive strategy? How are you going to compete? And there he talks about, are you going to compete on being the lowest cost provider? Are you going to compete on the basis of something superior that you're going to give, or are you going to compete in part of the industry offering one of these two? So that's the second thing that he decides on that. Then he comes back, and then you also set your 3 to 5 year goals for sales growth, market share, and profitability. So that becomes the hub of the business unit. So a business unit will say, hey, this is what we want to achieve over the next 3 to 5 years, and this is how we're going to do that. And this is our core strategy of competing with our competitors. Then the business unit will decide. We come to the various spokes. There are 8 spokes that you see here. So we start with saying, what kind of product line do we have or will we have in future? Are we going to be in baby business? Are we going to be in some other business? So what kind of businesses we will be? Whom are we going to target? So if we're going to be in baby business, whom are we going to target? Are we going to target infants? Are we going to target to children of age 2 to 5 years? So who are we going to target? Who is your target customers? Who markets? Will it be urban market? Will it be rural markets? So we understand that. Having understood the product line and who are we going to target, we say, okay, how are we going to create demand? Marketing here essentially means how are we going to generate the demand? How are we going to get these customers in these target markets to come and ask for these products? So that's marketing. The 4th strategy that we need to understand is sales and distribution. How are you going to distribute and sell a product? Demand has been generated. How are we going to fulfill that demand in terms of supplying the product to the customer and distributing and making sure that the order is fulfilled? Having done that, for that we need definitely the products. So how are we going to make the products and services, purchase the components, materials required, manufacture the product at the least possible cost, at the right quality, in the shortest possible time. So that's the kind of understanding we will need to know for manufacturing and purchase strategy. To do all this, we will need people, right? So what is our people strategy? What kind of people we need to get? How will we keep them motivated all the time? How will we retain them? How will we compensate? All the people related strategies. That's what we need to understand again as a part of the business unit strategy. Once we start doing that, we need to spend continuously in upgrading our products and services. So what will be a research and development? How are we going to know about the emerging needs of the customers and consumers? And how are we going to develop those products and services? That is the R&D strategy. Finally, how are we going to finance the business? Are we going to fund from our own? Are we going to borrow from banks? Are we going to raise equity? And how are we going to control the operations? We have this plan, beautifully laid out business plan. How are we going to make sure that it gets implemented and we don't overdo something, we don't underdo something? So that becomes a business unit strategy. So it's asking these 10, 11 questions, and that gives you an understanding of the business unit. Understood? Any questions? Right. With that, you would be ready to move on to the next step of understanding your roles and responsibilities. So how would you go about understanding roles and responsibilities? Any thoughts? Easy, actually, relative to understanding business unit. What you need to do is you need to first state your understanding. You need to understand the short and long-term goals of the team that you're part of. You'll be part of a larger team. Your business will consist of a variety of teams. You can be maybe part of a national team. You may be part of a regional team or an area team. So you need to understand from your manager what's the long and short-term goals of your team. Then you need to ask for a 30-minute session to understand the expectation from your manager, immediate manager. That, hey, sir, I want to sit and understand what are your expectations. And because he will meet his goals, then only your role will be to support him in meeting his goals. So you need to understand what role do I play in meeting your goals. And in understanding this session, you need to ask some questions. What are you supposed to achieve by the end of the year? What are your objectives? What am I supposed to do? Where are you today? And in this session, you will say, hey, sir, help me understand where do you think we are? Where do you think I am? And where am I supposed to reach by end of the year? And that becomes specifically the goal. And what is your expectation, or how should I be working? What am I expected to do to achieve these goals? And this is a session where you listen, clarify, and come back and note down and understand your roles and responsibility. Understood? Any questions? Make sense? Right. With that, we are ready to go to the third step of drafting and aligning your annual goals with your manager. Right? So how do you do that? It should be simple, right? Want to take 15 seconds? Note down, come back. Okay. So what you do is you come back to your favorite sheet of annual sales plan and you make a draft of your annual sales plan, right? And so you have learned how to prepare that annual sales plan. You do all the work, and it might take a time. You might need a month's time or 15 days time. So you take that much time and make a draft of your annual sales plan, and ask it time to present this plan to your manager. In this meeting, you state the purpose of the meeting as to get his or her feedback, not approvals, not pushing your whole thing through. Whole thing is to present this and say, hey, sir, I have worked on this my annual sales plan. I'd like, based on understanding of what am I supposed to do, I have developed my strategy and plan. I'd like to get your feedback on that. And the fourth thing will be to listen, understand, note, and go back and modify the plan based on those inputs. So that's how you understand you draft and align your goals with your manager. The last stage will be once you have an agreed plan for yourself, to cascade your goals into the client specific plan. So how do you do that? Any thoughts? Okay. So what you do is you start by identifying your major clients. Major clients meaning accounting for 85% of a sales revenue or profits, depending on what the guidance from your manager is. Then you identify client-wise opportunity for each of the goals by you look at each client business and say who are the competitors that they're buying from, and who are these who are among those, who are the people whose business can you get, where you have opportunities and you have strengths. So, and then you say, what are the factors driving, and you look at your capability to outperform the competition. And like this, you identify the opportunities. Then you estimate the key results, likely results that you obtain there from each of your clients specifically. And you consolidate the collective impact. And that's how so for each of the clients, you would develop a specific strategy. And we will talk about this into more details as in one of the lectures. So not to worry about that. So what did we learn in this module? So what we learned in this module is that we can achieve company goals. We can achieve company goals across the customer base, not only one customer, but major customers accounting for 85% of your business. By first understanding the business unit strategy, and we talked about what do we mean by the business strategy. And then we said you need to understand your roles and responsibility based on the part of the team that you are in and with your manager, understanding the expectation. Then you need to draft your annual sales plan or your sales strategy for yourself, your territory. Present it to your manager and get the feedback on your goals and strategies. And then cascade it down to your major clients contributing to 85% of business. And that's what we learned. If you do that, you can achieve company goals across customer base. So what do we do next? And since we've been talking about the client cascading into client-specific strategies, so we will go back into the next thing that is required for excellence in sales of drawing account-based strategy for all your major clients. So it will be in the form of these similar format of objectives and goals, strategies, key projects, responsibility, and timing. And we will spend time on doing that in the next session. So thank you so much for watching this module where we have talked about how to achieve company goals across customer base to help you build excellence. I hope you have continued to enjoy this session and you're continuing to learn something new and building on the way to building excellence in sales. So look forward to seeing you in the next session and talking more about it.